when I step in and I try to solve or I try to fix, what I don't know I'm doing is telling you that I don't trust you, that I don't trust you to move through this emotion, that I don't trust you to feel this and pull yourself back out, that I don't trust that the next day you're going to take action and do something about it. That's essentially what I'm saying without saying it. Hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome back to another episode of the Relationship Atlas podcast. I'm your host. My name is Atlas, and I am a relationship coach. And the work that I do is essentially helping relationships come back together, get more aligned, get more transparent, elevate their communication skills, and just overall create a better system for a better relationship. And so, in an effort to do that, I continue to release these podcast episodes in hopes of you being able to take something, applying it to your relationship, and seeing if it works. Now, I think that there's a lot of different ways to navigate a relationship. And so, I hope that you find value, even if it's in just the smallest of ways. And if you don't, that's okay too. The next episode might actually be the one that lands a little bit more for you. But in the spirit of providing as much value as possible, I do always try to speak from personal experience because I believe that that is the embodied way to approach things. And it also is, as we try to strive in our relationships, it's more transparent, more honest, and more raw and real. And so today I want to talk about two things that have happened to me recently in the world of safety and trust in my relationship. And I think it's fair to say that everybody listening here, including myself, we really want a high level of safety and trust. We want to be able to rest inside the safety and trust that our relationship is going in the right direction, or that it's a safe environment to be ourselves, or that we can trust the other person to show up. And when we go about creating safety and trust, we have a lot of things to battle with. We have how safety and trust was created for our parents and what we witnessed. We have how safe we feel in a relationship in general. And we have a lot of our current and present actions that are either creating further developed trust and safety or reducing the whole overall strength of the trust and the safety. And so I want to first share the story that came up for me around safety. And ironically, it was a self discovery. Gabby actually didn't say anything. Proud of myself, pat myself on the back. My self awareness continues to grow. And I recognize this because as we have moved to the suburbs, we do a lot more driving now. And it's actually in the peak times of traffic. And I started to notice over the last week or two, after, I don't know, being about 2 months now of driving this new system, that I was getting a little bit more aggressive. I was getting a little bit more touch and go, a little bit more sensitive to other people's driving, a little bit more mm, aggressive, I think is the right word. And Gabby hasn't said a word. She trusts my driving. She trusts that we'll get there safely. She knows that I got it. But even in that trust that she knows I got it, that doesn't necessarily mean that she feels safe. And that was really the kicker for me and the great reminder that even though I know I got it and I know she knows I got it, it doesn't mean that my actions are creating a sense of safety. She could trust me, but it doesn't mean that she feels safe. So when I cut somebody off, right, or when I tail a little too close, or traffic hits a little harder than I need to, and I'm running a little too close, and I have to slam on the brakes, these things are environments of unsafety. They're not safe. And I know I got it, but it doesn't mean that in her system, she feels safe. And so this is a classic example of intention versus impact. She could say, hey, like, whoa. And I could be like, whoa, what do you mean? I got it. It's all good. And she could say, I know, but like, and we were just running a little close there. And I could say, yeah, but obviously, like, I got it. And I could get defensive because my intentions are pure. I know I'll get there safely. I'm not trying to cause any trouble. I'm not trying to get into an accident. But my actions, the things that I'm doing, are contradicting that. I'm tailing too close. I'm cutting people off. I'm not driving in the theoretical safe way. And so it's funny that it came to me because it was just this moment of like, whoa, like I'm not creating a safe environment here in the world of driving, which is inherently unsafe. And so, how else can I go about this? How else can I provide that safety in this space. Maybe it's leaving earlier and creating structure before we leave so that it's safer as a drive. We're not rushing. Maybe it is, even though we're already on the road, coming to the recognition that it doesn't matter how aggressive I drive, it's only going to make a minute or two difference. So back off. What is it going to take for me to create safety? So it was a really powerful reminder for me just to ensure that I'm always focused and reminding myself that I'm responsible for safety in this relationship. I play a massive part in ensuring that this relationship is a safe environment. The second piece, the second story, is about trust. And it actually just came up today. So, I think that we all have well intentions. I don't think anybody is ever trying to have bad intentions, but it doesn't mean that our impact doesn't hit differently. And so Gabby and I were having this conversation on the drive home the other day, and she had come home from a challenging day at work. So she was sharing her stories with me and her expressions and her emotions, and she was just letting me in. And I noticed, that part of me that wants to help, fix, solve, right? The logical man. And his part naturally comes up for me a lot. It's something that I love to do. I love to be of value. I love to prove myself. I love to be of service. I love to provide. And I often forget that there's so many different ways to do that. And so in that moment, I could sense that the way I wanted to do it was to fill in the gaps, you know, create this solution oriented experience, have the answers, support with saying, hey, have you thought about doing this? Which is so not helpful. And so I actually parked it. I left it. I just listened and I took it in and I said, sounds like a tough day. Sounds like a tough day. Wow, that sounds rough. And we walked through this experience and I felt really like uncomfortable. Like I'm really like, what am I doing? Like I'm doing nothing. I felt useless doing what I was doing. But I stuck with it. And the night moved on and all was well. There wasn't any, further really conversation about it. We just had this open-ended, I'm listening, she's talking, we moved on. Today, she messaged me sharing appreciation for the fact that I just held space for her, but also sharing that she took action and she did something about it. And, it was funny because I trust her wholeheartedly to take on life. I know she's got it. And the irony is that even though I know that, in the moments where she's struggling, I think there's a part of me that thinks, okay, great, I get to step in and get it for her. I get to step in and I get to be that person for her. I get to prove myself to her in these ways. I get to show my value here. And the irony was that I actually did that by holding the space. And we got on the phone later that day and I said, you know what? I realized something. When I step in and I try to solve or I try to fix, what I don't know I'm doing is telling you that I don't trust you, that I don't trust you to move through this emotion, that I don't trust you to feel this and pull yourself back out, that I don't trust that the next day you're going to take action and do something about it. That's essentially what I'm saying without saying it. And a lot of people, if you're a man listening to this, might say, no, that's not what I mean. It's not what I mean at all. And I know, and I get it, because it's not what I mean either. And yet, it's still the impact. It's still the outcome of this scenario in many of these scenarios. And so, if she needed something from me the day prior, she would have asked. We have an agreement, she'll ask. If she doesn't need anything, she won't ask. No problem. Happy to listen and support and just really be a part of her experience. Why do I have to be rid of it? If I ever have to be rid of it, it's because I'm having an issue. It's because I'm uncomfortable. It's because something is alive for me that I'm not comfortable with. And my hope is that if I can solve this for you, I can actually solve what's happening for me. Take that in. Really, truly. Because when you think about a lot of the ways in which we operate relationally, so much of it actually has nothing to do with it. It has so much more to do with us, ourselves, and what's happening inside of our own system. And so I really liked these examples because I think that they're so applicable. in so many other ways and areas and circumstances that we run into in our daily relational lives, whether it be the chores or the routines or just the systems that may be agreed upon or not agreed upon, the unspoken expectations, the I don't understand why you're so bothered or why are you so upset. All of these scenarios that we deal with on a day to day basis that are, I don't want to say solvable, but are in a way solvable because if we take the approach of, hey, I agree to tell you if I need something, and you agree to tell me if you need something, we have that agreement, then I can trust that you got it. We've made this agreement. I don't have to do anything except listen and be a part of your experience. I also will agree to always self reflect as best as I can before responding so that when I'm driving aggressively, and I might have blacked out, to be honest, and I don't really know that I'm lost in a loop of unsafety, and you say, hey, whoa, like we're running a little close here. Instead of snapping, I get to say, whoa, where's the truth in this? Where could there be truth in this? And sure enough, if we're really willing to face ourselves, we recognize, oh yeah, okay, all right, that's totally fair. I can cool it. I can put some ice on it. So I encourage you, I implore you. This is the end of the episode. I encourage you and I implore you to go into some scenarios that have happened over the last 48 hours and just see where this fits. See where this is applicable in your relationship and see where there may be space for you to, one, create more of a safe environment for your relationship, where you may be contributing actually to a lack of safety without knowing it or without being aware of it. And secondly, to recognize where you may actually be impeding your partner's abilities to be their best selves by trying to solve life for them, by trying to be the savior of their life. It doesn't mean you don't help, but it does mean how quick are you to step in because you don't trust that they got it? And what are you dealing with internally or in your own belief system that's causing you to approach the situation that way? Super powerful, super simple, but super effective. So I hope this was valuable for you. Again, we're here to get to the point of the issue, get to the root in effective, efficient ways. We just did so in 12 minutes. And I hope that there was some value here that you can take. So if there was, I would please, please, please ask if you could to either share this episode, rate this episode, or subscribe because it really helps value like this reach more people so we can help more relationships, so we can support the relational world that we live in. And if you want to take this work further, I am a relationship coach. I do this for a living. And so I help both individuals and couples improve their relational lives. So if that's you, if you're looking to take this work a little deeper, I encourage you to reach out. You can reach me on my socials at the relationship coach underscore. You just head over there on Instagram or TikTok, shoot me a DM. My email address is on the connect or contact option is there as well. You can reach me there and book a call with me. So I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you again for listening. Thank you for being part of this. And thank you more specifically for taking the time out of your day to figure out what you can do better in your relationship to improve the quality of your relationships. That impact ripples across the world. You're amazing. Have a great rest of your day. I'll talk to you soon.